like also, yeah, you get me, and I mean, I suppose like it's about telling the story, I guess, of my upbringing a little bit, and
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, welcome back to the Ambition Diaries, a podcast that keeps on giving and educating young entrepreneurs. On our show today, we've got Issa Lopez. So, Issa, if someone had to approach you on the streets and asked you to introduce yourself, how would you introduce yourself to them?
yeah, like a lot of people here in South Africa know me as Issa Leo. It's a name that I have from when I had a clothing brand of the same name. So yeah, that's kind of my alias. People know me as Issa Leo, but yeah, professionally it's Issa Jesus Lopez. That's a bit more professional side of things because Issa and Jesus is actually the same name. Jesus means Jesus. Issa, Prophet Jesus. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. You said you are from Mexico. Tell us, what was it like growing up in Mexico?
All right, so I'm not actually from Mexico.
Okay.
I was born Spanish. My parents are Spanish. I grew up in Mexico though, so at the young age, around 6 years old, my parents left to Mexico. They were there to establish a community. We are Muslims, so we went there with that purpose. My father especially, he is a teacher, imam or Quranic teacher, you could say. So yeah, the idea was to go there and establish the first community in the south of Mexico. That led me to grow up there, right in Chiapas, which is the south of Mexico, border with Guatemala, and that's where my earliest memories come from.
Yeah. And what got you into entrepreneurship? Like, was it from the early stages of growing up in Mexico or when you came abroad?
Yeah, look, I mean, since a young age, I didn't have a lot of things going for me in the sense of like, we weren't poor, but we were very humble. My father was dedicated to establish community there, and he wasn't after the money, even though he was a very good artist and he was a very good architect and overall creative, but he dedicated his life to God, you could say. So for us was obviously growing up in that environment where we didn't have a lot of money to go around and all of that. So I always had to get very entrepreneurial, with my sense of style, with my fashion, with how to get money basically. From a very young age, I was working. I never truly went through normal schooling. So at the young age of like 12 years old, I was already working. We had some community endeavors like restaurants, and we had some bakery that we had to basically work and run. So yeah, I was a very young age already operating the business, learning from the inside, and you would say that obviously spiked. Obviously, being wanting to become somebody, become something out of myself, and growing up in a poverty around me, in disadvantaged communities, etc. So it was always about how we can, overcome these difficulties to a certain degree. And that's what led me to entrepreneurship. At a young age. Because
At what stage did you decide, like, okay, like I've had enough of this, I'm ready to move out of this place and go and see what's out there for me?
Yeah, so if we go back to at the young age, when I was 14, 15, living in south of Mexico, as you can know, it's a place ridden with crime, living with like narcotics and stuff like that. And I did fell through in that trap.
Yeah.
So for a young age, I was already, a bit addicted to certain narcotics, let's put it that way. And I had links, to certain like individuals and stuff like that. So I became very lonely at a very young age. I was working, I was pushing the business that we own, and I used to run it very well, but also a lot of my closest friends left because I had a lot of my closest friends from Spain living there with me, and they left. And obviously all that fun and games, became a little bit more toxic, so like at around 17, when I was very much, very much into this lifestyle. I was working a lot, pushing the business, but I was very empty inside. And I had to make a decision, there was a crossroad for me that I was I either just pack my bags and leave this and hope for a better tomorrow, or I join the cartels, kind of thing, like it was getting there. So maybe I should have joined the cartels, you never know. And but yeah, that was the moment that I literally, because I was feeling very empty. I used to remember hugging my dad and didn't even feel anything. I was very much like, I was not content and happy with myself, and I put my life in danger a few times. And I was like, you know what, this is not the life I want to live. And yeah, I just took the courage. I saved a bit of money, and I took a three-day bus trip to the north of Mexico. That was the only place that I knew somebody that was gonna host me, kind of thing, and just crash on the couch.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was a good decision. It was just like I went through another one of the most dangerous cities in the world, which is the border with El Paso, Texas, in north of Mexico. So it was a very hectic place as well. And I was 17 years old.
You took the risk.
I took the risk, and I was just going to work I used to work in a restaurant. Well, not restaurant, like almost like a takeaway type of thing on the side of the road, but quite nice. And yeah, that I made my first money there, and I started saving, and I just went through, cleaning myself from all the, addictions and all of that type of thing. And like I stayed there for like 8 months, where I had a bit of more fashion, like there was some fashion shows I was attending to and all that, and just working in the restaurants and saving money and being able to pay my trip back to Spain, because, nobody was actually, do that for me. So that was initially how I moved from Mexico back to Spain. But before that, in Mexico, I already had a lot of sense for fashion. So I come from a fashion background.
Okay.
I mean, I think I have to give you a little bit of my background.
I mean, when I saw you at that YEC event, I was like, okay, this man's fresh, with the tuxedo and everything. You're looking good. Yeah.
Thanks. No, look, I mean, I developed a good fashion taste. I think comes from my mother. She's always been very stylish without trying. You know what I mean? I think it all comes down to what you choose, where you choose it. So as growing up in a humble environment, without a lot of money to buy clothes and all that, my mom used to actually take us a lot to secondhand stores and thrift stores.
Yeah.
And I used to be that guy that used to go deep dive on those piles of clothes, and I always will find the best pieces. Will find some Ralph Lauren
quality stuff there.
Yeah, because it was coming from America. So I was like, hey, this is good, and I would just take it to a tailor. We kind of shape it to my body type. And then like a lot of the posh kids of the city, because I always knew like the rich kids and the poor kids. I was always between two worlds, right? So they always used to see me all fresh and like, hey, where you got this? I was like, no, don't worry about it. They didn't know actually it was just thrifted stuff. And that I developed some like connection with a tailor, and he would make me some nice jackets, suits type of jackets. And I would actually just exchange them for a Discman or for money to my friends, to people I knew. I would just trade off, and that's how I started my journey in the clothing side. And fast forward, then went back to Spain, and this was my journey as like, okay, like now I'm Europe, I'm 18 at this time, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like first of all, I needed to get a job and start doing some work, and hustling whatever I could just to stay there, because I only knew obviously some friends, and they were very welcoming, and I would crash with them in the freaking whatever, in the floor, in the rooms, or in the couch. And that's how I started to rebuild myself after that first stage of my life, which obviously marked my whole journey.
Was there a moment through that journey, the early stages, where you were like, if this doesn't work out, I'm absolutely fucked?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, it was always in my mind, like, for me was, because I had a lot of fear put into my head for some sort of like, coming from a very close-knit community, they want to put like some sort of restriction, like kind of like, like
restrictions and limitations.
And if you go out here, if you go out in the world, you're going to get derailed, or you're going to lose yourself. And, it's a lot of evil out there. And I was like, you know what? I just know that if I pray my times a day, I pray 5 times a day since I'm like 17, and I stay, as clean as possible.
To yourself,
and I do my best, what God knows, like I'll just follow the lead, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, it was always a bit of a, funny enough, is when I took the decision and all that, I just felt like God opening doors for me everywhere I go, like from the restaurant that I was working in North Mexico, the owner of the restaurant took a liking to me. and he would even pay me a bit extra. He
Wow.
would because I mean, imagine I'm a Spanish kid, 17 years old, living like coming out of Chiapas, which is the south of Mexico, going into one of the most dangerous cities in the world, where there was like freaking killings every day and things like that. And this kid is working there in this restaurant to save money to go to Spain. So the guy couldn't even understand like what's going on here.
Yeah.
So he just felt like I'm gonna help you as much as I can, you know. And since then, like I've been just leveling up all the time accordingly, you know.
Yeah. Okay, step by step. And then at what stage did you move to Cape Town, and what inspired that move?
So yeah, like I spent a bit of time in Spain working like different restaurants and different like anything to keep me by. Then I had a short period that I was living in the UK because one of my dreams was always actually learn English. You know, like I was like I just want to learn English, and that was my first tick goal. So I went there, I spent like about 8-9 months to a year or something like that, learning English, working. And when I came back to Spain, I was like, what do I do now? Like, do I stay here? Do I start maybe doing a business or what? I was about 20 years old then. And then like my best friend at the time and a few other my friends were actually now already living in Cape Town in South Africa, because we had also a very big community here. We have communities all around the world, but here was a very big one. And yeah, I just took the chance and I said, okay, cool, you know what? Let me just come and check this place out to see what is the vibe. And that's how I end up here, you know, just around the time of the World Cup, you know. So it was very much fun. Spain won that World Cup. So we were like celebrating. 6 months turned to a year, and I was like, well, now 20 days turned 6 months, 6 months to a year. And I was like, okay, well, it looks like I'm going to live here now. So
Yeah.
I have to start building myself up here, you know.
Okay. So from what I'm getting now, it seems like when you spent time in the UK, you sort of had like a mentality shift where you came back to Spain and you were like, okay, I need to start my own business. Well, what happened in the UK that made you like realize like?
Yeah. Well, actually, it wasn't the UK. Actually, just a little bit before that, I used to live in Granada, where I'm from, in Spain, in south of Spain. I was 19, 20, and I ended up working in a very high-end restaurant, right? I always been around restaurants, whatever. So I got in, and I was in one of the most fancy restaurants that you can imagine. And this restaurant is a beautiful in the hill, and is looking at the Alhambra. La Alhambra is a very big monument. Well, not monument. It's a castle.
Yeah.
That it dates back like 500-600 years, like quite old, right? Like super old, from when the Muslim kingdom used to live there, right?
Okay.
So the Muslim king used to live there, that used to control Al-Andalus. And this beautiful castle was like my look at every day. So besides working in this restaurant, I had the most beautiful views in the world that you can imagine of this beautiful castle, the sunsets. And obviously a lot of rich people would come there, you know, because obviously
they love views.
Yeah, they love views. And it was like a terrace, loungy vibe. So every day I would just look at these, you know, like these people from all over the world, right? And I was always very motivated about, you know what, one day I want to be the guy sitting at that table and like not being the one serving them to a certain degree. Nothing wrong with serving people, but I was like, you know what, one day, you know, like they have the watch and they had like, you know, and they will come the families and the kids are there like chilling. And I used to like a lot of the posh kids of the city used to come and hang around there, you know. So I always look into the horizon every day, and I would just dream of one day being able to do what I love doing, you know, which would be, you know, being an entrepreneur, travel the world and do business and meet people and grow. And funny enough, like throughout that time, I fast forward not even to like, let's say 4 years later, I was actually sitting on that table with my whole family and they were serving us. So
wow,
yeah, it was a whole round moment. And then we went a few more times, of course, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so just going back to your whole fashion career, what have you learned that basically taught you about identity and personal branding in your whole journey?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've been doing entrepreneurship for a long time. Before it was like a trendy thing, before it was what it is today. And at the end of the day, I think it's all has to do with your values, with what you bring to the table, who you are as a person. And people feel and connect with that, you know. One of the beautiful things about having your own personal brand or your own way of doing things, entrepreneurship, it opens a lot of doors for you, and also it gives you a lot of respect from people that are already made it. to a certain degree, like they look at you and they might see themselves in you, because a lot of the guys that have made it, they come from barely nothing, right? They are self-made. My mentor, that was obviously a man that made a lot of impact in my life, was self-made from the bottom all the way up in Cape Town. And they always take a liking to you, but I believe that it has to do with your values, your grit, your resilience, and you wanting to achieve things and being able to dream and being able to be brave enough to own that story. It's not easy. It's not for everybody. Definitely not for everybody. But yeah, personal branding, when it comes to that, I think is something that is always been there, but it's not as prominent as today. I think today, if you want to be seen or heard, I think a lot of it has to do with building your brand persona.
Yeah. Okay. At what point did you pivot into procurement and product building?
So, we fast forward 2020. I had a few shops in Cape Town. The clothing brands that I had were okay, but it wasn't nothing crazy. I was always swimming upstream. And it's I have a couple of other businesses. So anyway, we closed down the one business. I closed a couple of shops. We moved the product that I had in one store that I was for 8 years. It was in Loop Street. I had a store there for 8-9 years. So to be honest, my heart and my passion wasn't there that much anymore. Yeah. I was so burnt out to deal with a lot of drama that comes with having your own businesses in Cape Town, especially South Africa, with staff issues, with this and that. So anyway, we had another property in Bookap. My mentor and we kind of did a coffee shop side business there, and it became available, one of the sections of it. So I took it on and moved it in there. And but it was just to speed up the story, my mentor unfortunately passed away in 2021 or something, 2022.
Condolences.
Yeah, thanks. I was obviously a very abrupt death, because one day to another, and he was a very big aura man. He was he had a lot of business under his control, and he was a big business guy, and we were planning to do a lot of things together in the import and export business, getting involved in that business. So yeah, a lot of those dreams kind of came crashing down to a certain degree. And my importance was being there for the family.
Yeah.
Being there for, because the son and the daughter took over, which were kind of very young still as well, so only 2 years younger than me. So I was this is the trenches now. Let's just keep together. I don't want to know anything about little shops and this and that and social media and all that. My heart wasn't there. So we were okay, let's just hold this tight and let's see how we can, push through, because he was a property developer. So he's deals with property and a lot of people coming all over the place. And interestingly enough, I have a video actually on my TikTok that happened 2 days right after he died. I was in the store there just doing something, closing or whatever, and 2 hours later, some few guys came in and broke into the place, literally mask on, gloves on, ripped off the door and came in around 11 at night. I wasn't there anymore, and they came and they cleaned my whole shop. Basically, they took all my product.
That's insane.
Leather jackets, computers, everything. But I was very at peace, because I felt like it was almost like God just made
taking it away from you.
Yeah, it was you know what, this is enough. Time to move on. Close this chapter for now. Focus on what is important. My important was to be there for the family and be there as a nucleus to go over this period of time where we were getting obviously a lot of different attacks somehow. And so that happened. I lost all my data. My laptop, my computer was stolen fully with all my data in there.
Wow.
And that was what okay. So now that made me now take a break. I was okay, let me just focus here. Took a year, just looking at different business models, different deals that I could be doing or whatever. And so I started doing a bit of brokering, trying to get into commodity brokering in South Africa and all that, which also happened to me because somebody tried to scam me. So, but the guy was so good to his scam that I was oh,
was almost believable.
No, it was so believable. The guy literally spent 1 million rand just to make his scam look good, and I realized
crazy.
yeah, I realized that, yo, I actually know a lot of people, because I started getting involved and calling people and be like, yo, you want this product? We're looking for this, we're looking for that. And I realized, oh, you know what? My network, I have a lot of guys that I can call that are connected somehow to certain different industries.
Yeah.
But luckily, thank God, I picked it up that, hey, you know what? There was something that was not looking good there. You know?
Fishy. Yeah.
Something fishy. And it was funny because it was the day we had a Zoom meeting with the guys, and one guy looked okay. The other guy was talking there, and we in a Zoom meeting, and then this kid is walking around eating chicken. And I was like, it's not very professional, you know?
It's not.
We're talking about a deal that was worth millions, you know, like literally
Yeah.
this the deal of my life, millions of dollars, you know, containers, food to Angola, whatever it was, or Uganda. And I was like, this is not looking so clean, you know? And then I started seeing all the little things. I went deep dive and I did a background checks on everything, and I picked it up. Okay, this is not right.
Yeah.
So anyway, but funny enough, that experience, and I told the guy, the scammer, I said, you know what, you taught me a lot. So yeah, thank you, chop, you know? I was like, you mother shut. Then I took all the experience and I was like, you know what? I enjoy being the middle guy, doing deals and trying to get some products and this and that, you know? And I was like, yeah, this is something I can do, right? So, and I needed to learn more about the logistics side. I needed to learn more about the linguistics that comes with it, the language. So I did a course in UCT for like 3 months. We prepared me to be more into the procurement, logistics, etc., and learn a lot of that kind of like lingo that is used. Yeah. The only thing that happened as well is that I did went that rabbit hole for like a couple of years, and I was chasing a lot of big deals, and everything seems amazing. You know, like, yo, you're gonna make so much money.
Yeah.
You in the middle procuring this, that. I was going to Joburg. I put my life in a lot of danger because I was, you know, like when you in a business that is going to make a lot of money, got in, got out.
Whatever it takes.
It's also like there's a lot of sharks out there, and it's a lot of scams, and you're dealing with that every day. Was like, and I was like, the energy wasn't feeling good, you know, was feeling very dirty. Like, even when everything seemed to be aligned, when I had the contracts and the agreements with the supplier, with the seller, and, you know, like, I was like, oh, you know, I'm about to become a millionaire. Then there was always something off, you know. Somebody down the line was wrong or something.
And the disappointment after that when the deal don't go through.
I went through disappointment after disappointment after months, you know, working on a thing, 2-3 months. But yeah, look, it taught me a lot. I learned a lot about business, about its structure. I did even a course in sales and business from a guy in London. So I put myself through that schooling and learning. And but yeah, like about the last year and a half ago, I was like, nah, this is just a lot of noise, but nothing really materialized.
Yeah.
And I said, let me go back to what I know: real trade, real procurement. Like companies need stuff, because I'm already doing it for my own brands. Because I'm still doing brand building, e-commerce. So I'm doing drop shipping with like different products from China. I've gone to China a couple of times. I'm actually going there now in the next 2 months. So like, I understand how everything works now, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's just about okay, what can we launch ourselves and also offer that service to other people and other companies that are a little bit more realistic, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, currently that's what we're doing. That's how I fell into procurement, B2B services.
Okay.
And it's more realistic business if you get the buyer and if you know what you can offer them and they trust your service. Irrespectively, I'm doing it for me anyway. So I'm doing it for my own brands or for websites that we want to launch or products that we want to launch.
Okay. What are the sort of like the unseen sides of B2B businesses? Like a lot of people, the things that people don't talk about and the not so nice stuff, glamorous stuff that people put away in the closets.
Yeah, like I think like every business, you know, it's a lot of things that are not glamorous, to be honest. Is you need to really be very careful on, because you're dealing with people's money, people investment in products. So you really need to understand quality control, understand the logistics, not cutting corners, trying your best to get the best product to your client, because at the end of the day, they're trusting you with that. I myself, like, I take my time now more than ever to make sure that I do quality controls, like that I do, what is it called? Company research is called
Audits. No, not
Yeah, it's
this?
like an audit, like
Yeah.
that's just a word that is. It's like a deep dive and like background check kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Okay.
make sure that the certifications are there. Make sure that, and then just test a little bit. And I'm still learning. Don't take me wrong. I'm far away from a professional when it comes
Yeah.
to know everything. I do have companies, third party companies that deal with the main part would be logistics. I have a very trustworthy company. Yeah, they charge a bit more, but they deal with that.
It's worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How do you navigate international supply chains from South Africa?
Like coming into South Africa?
Coming into, also even exiting South Africa?
I'm mostly doing like importing into South Africa.
Okay.
So it's pretty straightforward. Like I think it's like once you have your product and you have the goods that you want to purchase, obviously you get your invoices, you get all of that stuff that you're gonna showcase to the entry port, and then you might because I don't do the logistics myself. The logistics company deals with paying all the necessary documentations, making sure that everything is smooth, and I just pay for the import duties and taxes, and then the product arrives.
Yeah.
Right now, I've been doing the small parcels and all that, container loads and all that is not something that I have touched.
Yeah.
But it's the same process, I would just give that responsibility to a third party. My job right now is mostly being the guy who goes. The beauty of knowing, of falling into this, because I'm very passionate, is the fact that I have 12 years experience in manufacturing, in product development, in brand building. So I can already pinpoint a lot of the issues, even when a client comes, I would like this or like that. I say, okay, cool. If you like this, these are the pros, these are the cons. Versus if you want this other product, this is how you can make it better, or, or strip out things. So all that experience that I gained from different years of actually trying and manufacturing here locally, because I did a lot of locally manufacturing, it has taught me a lot of that advancements,
Yeah.
So make it a little bit easier for the end consumer. And also it come from a brand building fashion side. I understand logos, graphics and all that. So the overall picture can look much better,
Okay. And how do you plan on scaling this business in the future? Or do you feel like you've reached to a point where you don't want to scale anymore?
Well, to be honest, I'm just getting started with this business. Like literally the last 2 years has been trials. It's been, reaching out to companies, being able, like, I had again, now you're dealing with corporate. I had a few good clients, really, really keen to do it. And then obviously the moment of truth comes and they say, not now, pull back, whatever. But opportunities are always coming. And how I want to scale it is a very much clean service about procurement, commission-based type of business. So if the client orders, gets through and produced, then obviously we get a commission on that. And then I'm most focused as well on my brand building on brands, which is online e-commerce, direct to consumer. So understanding the logistics already from manufacturing in China, getting it into a fulfillment center and selling it anywhere in the world, really. So I took away a lot of the pain points that we have in South Africa and I stripped them all out. I redesigned the business model in a very lean manner. And now we can basically hold the stock before it comes to South Africa or anywhere in the world, which cut our cost of product by almost 100%.
That's insane.
From instead of doubling the product cost of us is about 100% less before we make the sell.
Okay.
So procurement side, I'm already getting more involved. I was in China last 3, 4, 5 months ago, and I met a lot of top procurement guys. Some of the guys that are very known in YouTube, which I follow them actually, and I actually met them there because there was an event. It's called the Chris Group. They are a house of manufacturing, and they produce goods for different brands, etc. And funny enough, based out of America, but funny enough, when I went to see them and I met with them in this showroom they had, it turns out they're all South Africans.
That's insane.
And they're from Joburg and from Cape Town. And I was like, obviously, immediately we connected, because I am more South African almost now than anything else. So
exactly,
I can speak the lingo, let's put it that way. So
15 years is crazy.
Yeah.
Might as well be South African.
Yeah, this is the place that I've lived the most of my life out of. So we connected and all that, and they introduced me to a lot of these guys. One guy is called Kian JP, the other guy is the sourcing guy, and Orange Meets World. It's a lot of guys that are big influencers when it comes to procurement, brand building, and all that. And they had So I learned from them as well. You know, it's like asking them the questions, and and connected now. And every time I go there, if they're around, hopefully I can get to learn more on that side. So when big contracts come to my lap and something comes like, I need the top dogs to understand how everything works, I can just pick up the phone and be like, yo, let's do this, right?
Okay. So you mentioned drop shipping. You're into drop shipping as well.
Yes.
How do one get into drop shipping? And if so, is it already too late?
So like first we have to analyze what is drop shipping versus what I actually do in a way, my style of business is not drop ship like just any random product and try and sell it. It's more like drop ship it with a brand building element. Okay. So drop shipping itself is, okay, I find a product that I think it can work in the market. I just put it on a website and I run some ads and, try to make that sale onto that product. That in itself, I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with the market, but it's pretty dead because there's a lot of crap out there. It's a lot of Temu. It's a lot of things that are going to be competitors in it. Yeah. So for you to beat that, it's not even worth it, I believe, because the amount of money you can make is, unless you really hit something really, really well done. But now there is another side, which is literally brand building, but in a drip shipping or custom or order production on demand type of business model, which is what I do, which is we find a product, or we want to develop a brand, or we develop a product / look and feel, and then we create a website only for that type of product.
Okay.
We create a brand elements like colors, logos, the voice of the product, like all of those elements that make the brand look so much more legit, so much more in line. Still drop shipping to a certain degree, but instead of going all out and producing a lot and hoping for the best, we produce in stages. So we product on demand, and then we hold the stock in our overseas warehouse, because that gives us the whole world as a client versus bringing it into South Africa.
Okay.
If you're just focusing on South Africa, by all means, bring it here. But also, the good thing about doing it in this way is that, like I said earlier, it cut your costs of because imports in South Africa, as you know it, they kill us here.
Yeah.
Like South Africa, actually, I think, like, we don't know, a lot of guys maybe going to say, but I believe it's one of the toughest places to come up with these kind of business models.
Yeah.
But if you make it here, I think you can kill anywhere in it. You can become because we go against upstream all the time, economically speaking, people don't have a lot of capital to invest in things. And then bringing the products here costs a lot of money. But if we sell before and then we bring it, then that money is being covered by the client's investment or in client's cost. So brand building, going back, is more about developing a product, brand look and feel, launching that, and then try the best to make it work. If that doesn't work, obviously there's data, there is a lot of research that you put into the thing, market research, product research, pain points, etc. And that's how I've been developing my products now. And it comes a lot because of my knowledge of designing clothing and developing products for clothing, all that. So in that way, I think definitely not dead at all. There's a lot of guys making a lot of money, because at the end of the day, you become let's take away all these fancy terms and you become a store owner. Basically, you become a brand owner. It's like back in the day, you have a little shop there and you try your best to sell, and you create a product that you want to sell it. Now you market the whole world, and you have that storage in somewhere else. And obviously there's levels to it. There's levels that you can climb and understanding what kind of product you want to bring. Is it a pain point that you're solving, or is it a lifestyle product? Is it just fashion? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Identity things, So in that angle, I think there is a lot of growth, and now is the best time to get into it, because you can utilize a lot of the tools that are available, which is AI, which is to launch things and test, and try, there's a lot of different angles that you need to learn. Obviously, it's not that easy. Marketing is a very big thing right now. It's like you cannot do much without understanding the basics of marketing, I suppose. Yeah.
So with dropshipping, it's almost like giving each product its own identity and promoting it. So I've seen a lot of people that sort of have 100 products that they're selling at once. You wouldn't recommend that?
Not at all. I would never recommend that. I think that is the most ugly website that you can find, especially because, let's be honest, you're not Amazon, you're not Temu, you're not what are you doing? Why would you invest so much just to put a bunch of random products there and hoping people like it? But now, if you focus, like my new store that I'm building, I'm only launching it with one product. Okay. And it's actually the same one, 2 versions of it. And, but actually I'm going to give you some sauce here.
Let's go. Some sauce.
I have a project which I'm very itchy to launch. I haven't launched it yet. The website is done. I just had some issues right now that I didn't want to put more in my plate because I want to focus in what I'm doing. But this website is basically, it's a platform to launch in bold ideas. And the idea behind this website is to actually test products, test ideas with the brand building element behind it, but without having to put all the infrastructure that goes with it, because infrastructure is already on the website.
Yeah.
So in other words, and the idea is kind of creating a mastermind where people can invest in it and like getting like a bunch of like maybe 20, 30 people every month to learn about brand building, about product development and all that, and then launch it in this website and see the process from A to Z. And at the end, what is that looks like without having to invest in all the elements. Yeah. So you have something more ready. So yeah, that website is going to be called Dream Base.
Okay.
Started in South Africa. It started with the idea of creating merch product for artists and so like merch, etc. But now it's moving more into that kind of platform for football ideas, right?
Yeah.
In that way, like it's also depends how you design the site, that it looks so much more cleaner than having a lot of products, random products. It needs to be with a story behind it. You know, that website will have that story.
Yeah.
It's a brand building case. You know, it's not as come to my website and see a bunch of products. But now if you go back to one item, very curated, very clean website, great copy, speaks to those kind of values that you add or the beauty that you add to the brand, then you have something to win. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you're going to succeed with them. It might take you 10, 15 products.
Yeah.
To do it constantly before you see a winner.
Yeah.
And I'm only getting started with this myself.
Yeah. Do you have like some sort of like cycle for the product? Say, for example, like you work with one product for around about 1 year, and then the next year you switch over to another product, or do you stick with one product for a long period of time?
So in this kind of business model, I think I would give it about 6 months. I think you need to also invest money on advertising. I wouldn't give a lot of more time than that. If my website is 100% good, the product is great, and I have a bit of capital to invest on ad spend and marketing, and after 3, 4, 5 months, I'm not making any sales enough to maintain that, then I would probably consider switch products. Yeah.
Okay.
Switch products and all that. But I think it's all comes down as well to what is the marketing, what is the market says, what is the marketing behind, what is the market research says about that product. You know? Like I'm going for products that are very much pain point solvers, you know?
Yeah.
Because I have been burned so much in fashion that, you know, like I just feel like I want to do something that it doesn't require so many different angles like fashion does. You know what I mean? Like if I can advertise one product in 100 different ways, it's so much easier than having a whole collection of products that you have to advertise in 100 types of ways. You know, it multiply by thousands, you know, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that kind of gives you, so drop shipping as itself, it's not dead, but it's the way that you do it. Like is the way, and I mean, a lot of the big guys that are making a lot of money, they speak in this language. And I know this language more than anything because I come from a brand building perspective of concept ideas. Like it's always so much, I'm going to say easier, but you can have the same product than anybody. But if you have attached a brand to it, it's not the same product.
Yeah.
100%. You can buy a white t-shirt from Kanye West for $100 or a white t-shirt in H&M for $5.
Yeah.
It's not the same white t-shirt.
It's not the same. Exactly.
But it is the same.
Yeah.
It's the same product, same thing. But hey, that name, that branding.
The story behind it.
Exactly. You know, so if you can come up with a product that has that feel, and it doesn't require years of heritage or, you know, you can create that. It's the way the brand voice is, the color scheme that, you know, it makes you feel like, oh, this is elevated.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with vitamins. Supplements is a very big market for that.
Yeah.
So how you can differentiate from the market. Yeah. Like I'm working on a project as well, an idea of supplements, stuff like that. And it's like how this product will differentiate in the market, even though it's the same product.
Yeah.
So I have to add different angles to it to create that value and to create that differentiating points. When people see it, they're like, okay, well, it's a good price. Oh, it's a nice packaging. Oh, it's a nice little story and this and that. And it has a different element than the 100,000 other ones that are there, you know? And that's how you can, I believe, how you can crack the code, you know?
Okay. That's pretty interesting. Okay. So throughout your whole entrepreneur career, how has networking played a major role in this journey of yours?
I think a big role, you know, I always used to go out parties and I always used to say, no, I'm actually going to network. And it was true, you know, like a lot of the time, you just like to party a lot. Look, I don't drink. I don't do drugs in many years. Like occasionally I've smoked some spliffs or whatever, but like, I like to go out and just be social. I'm a social person. I can talk to a lot of different people. I can, you know, like from different backgrounds, and you never know who you meet. And I believe that a lot of the times, whatever I have achieved or not, it has also been through my network and through me just being social, being who I am, being, you know, I don't say I get along with everybody, but, you know, I also don't come across as somebody that, you know, is not trustworthy or it's not friendly or it's not, you know, I know where I come from, and that already sets me apart from a lot. Like, I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not. I live by one line in my life, that is, be who you think you are, no matter the consequences, no matter the situation that you are in, just be who you think you are, you know? And I'm this guy, you know, and I travel
and change it.
And I have travel, and I have travel in business class, and then I have travel in a bus, and I've traveled in, and however that has come to me, I'm living that life. I'm not flexing without understanding that, you know what, it's all part of this, whatever God has given me in that moment, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't define me. And going back, so networking for me, it's always been very important. I like to network. I like to go out there. I actually have to do it more now. The last 2 years I've been very much locked into my own space. I have gone through a lot of process of overcoming a lot of my own self-doubts, like never study, never doing that and all that.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, exactly. So funny enough, I just finished now my MBA. So I did an MBA online. Thank you. It's the first time I studied in my life. So I went from not studying to let's do an MBA, an international course of sales, a master in marketing and social in e-commerce through an university in Barcelona. And so I had to lock in a lot of hours every night. And it was actually because there was a job like 4 years ago. I wanted to do an internship / job in Switzerland in one brand called Vetements. Vetements.
No.
So Vetements. So it's a French brand, but like very famous in Europe. It's the brother of the designer of Balenciaga.
Okay.
And they were always looking for people, right? So I sent them my CV, my humble CV, and they're like, yo, I would love to be part of this, that. And it was more like in logistics and that. And I thought, you know, I have the experience. I have
background,
this. But I didn't have a proof of like, yo, I also have study. And you always feel a little bit below. So I got upset with me. I was like, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I was actually traveling with one of my friends. He's a Nigerian friend of mine in Spain. And he's in property and he does very well and all that. I see him studying in the evening. I'm like, what are you doing? So, I know I'm doing this course in psychology. Like, why are you studying psychology now? Why not? I was like, if you can do it, I can
do it as well.
And he told me, it's just do the modules and do these. And I always thought it was way more difficult.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're right, you know. I said, oh, fuck it. I'm going to just try it. And I applied for one course online, university there, and everything was very simple for me because I don't have to be present. I was just online doing it. They sent me the stuff. And I just logged in and every day I was learning. I just finished like 2 months ago. And just waiting for my certificate. And it's funny because now we live in the times that, with AI and this, it's even worth it, whatever. But it has given me so much knowledge of, because a lot of the stuff I already knew to a certain degree. You're working, you're entrepreneur, but every time you're just winging things out and finding things out. And you need a bit of a structure. You need a bit of a strategy. You need a bit of laser focus in certain things. And this course has given me that a lot of like, okay, take the noise out. You know, focusing one thing at a time.
Line. Yeah,
exactly. And coming forward is like this is where I'm at now. That I think I need to going back into more networking.
Yeah,
and now this summer I'm looking forward to be out a bit, not just social, but be out more, doing outreach and meeting people. And because I've been very much home, summer, winter. Look, at travel. When I travel, this is my time that I'm out, and I'm like maybe for 2 months. I'm in Europe or wherever, and that's when I'm like not doing much. But when I'm here, I've been like very much focused on brand building, understanding, and teaching myself. You know, like literally, a lot of different things.
Okay, you should definitely join us at the Running Late Club. In December. Like I think last year, there were a bunch of guys from the Netherlands coming down, all e-commerce, dropshipping. You ask them, what do they do? I'm like,
really?
E-commerce. And I was just, that's crazy.
I'm there, bro. I'm there.
Yeah, so...
Tell me, because I started running again now.
Okay, then you'll be ready by then. You'll be ready.
No, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. Don't worry about
it. So we met at the Young Entrepreneurs Club event. What are your thoughts on events like that?
My thoughts is obviously it's something that is much needed, and I believe that is a great initiative by whoever is doing them. I have a couple of friends launching this kind of memberships, this kind of like clubs or networking, young entrepreneurs. I myself, like I come from that background. I did had a couple of things. I was trying to push it by myself. It was more like NGO type for young upcoming artists and creatives and disadvantaged communities. I also have one. I mean, I had the pitch deck and everything that, but I really haven't pulled the trigger in doing it. But I had one that is like a branch network.
Yeah.
So over like once a month to do the branch and just get people. And there was a lot of people interested. I just need to get myself to actually action it. But yeah, overall, I think it's great. It's like we live in a time that we become very lonely. We become and I myself, I feel like so lonely many times because you focus too much on yourself. Okay, I'm doing my work, I'm doing my business, I'm learning, and I go to the gym, I come home, and repeat, and then you feel like a lone wolf, you know, like you are alone, a solo entrepreneur journey.
I know that feeling.
You know what I mean? And I can get to you, you know, you need to be really high resilience and I like even myself, a lot of my closer friends that live in here in South Africa left. So I kind of been left alone almost. Like I have obviously my local friends here and there.
Yeah.
But a lot of my group of guys that we always used to hang around and do things like they have left like for like the last 5 years. And I can get sometimes the monotony kills me, you know, like every day is the same. So anytime
wake up work.
Yeah, it's just like it's good, but you need to also disconnect from that and just socialize with people and elevate yourself with people that are elevating themselves because you are consuming that energy and you feel, okay, cool, you know what? I might be alone doing my business and all that, but there are a lot of people like me out there doing the things, trying, building themselves. So yeah, I think it's very important.
Okay. So I would classify you as a serial entrepreneur based on all the businesses you've started and your journey and stuff. If you had to give advice to one young entrepreneur that has all these fantastic ideas in their head, but don't know where to start and feel like they are pressured to just focus on one thing, what sort of advice would you give to them?
I think like don't rush it. Try to reflect on yourself, on what you really are passionate about. What do you feel like, you know, you feel like it's not work, like you just enjoy it. Look, it's going to be painful. A lot of the times it's going to be uncomfortable, but what gives you the most joy? And I would say focus on that thing, you know, and try your best to not get too sidetracked. Because at the same time, I used to, and I've been like delving in a lot of different things along the way. And yes, I had a few startups and you think you're doing a lot, but you're actually not doing a lot. Because you're diluting yourself too much.
Yeah.
So lately I've been listening a lot to Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
And that guy is all about focus on the one thing and take away the noise. And for me it was difficult because like I like fashion, all that, but like I'm very good at it. Don't take me wrong. I'm very good designing creatively and all of that. But it's not like my biggest passion either, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a guy, I like business. I like to be able to provide a service and make money out of it and
Yeah.
be able to travel and do my business, and like, you know, that kind of drives me. So I'm very much an entrepreneur in that side. But I'm always been very, like, ideas come
Spread
to
out,
me
yeah.
all the time. Like, I
Mm.
have ideas coming at me, and oh, this is a good idea, and I will go into rabbit holes, like, and I will explore this idea, and then it's noise at the end of the day. So now I finally found what I really want to do, which is mostly in line with e-commerce, brand building, product direct to consumer, and procurement, because
Yeah.
it is in the same line what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of other things that are coming my way, I'm kind of like, you know what, thank you, but not for me. Yes, I'm now obviously involved in AI and this, but more like understanding what's happening, because it's, you know, you can apply it to your business, you can apply it in that line. So I would say, you know, don't get too sidetracked. If you like something, that just try and not locked into it.
Yeah.
For me, the fashion brand, and also don't give up too soon, you know, like put in the time.
Yeah.
I put in more than 10 years trying to build a fashion brand and building and that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of resilience.
100%. Yeah.
And that builds something in you that you can utilize for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've seen guys trying and 2 years, I'm done with this, move to the next thing, 1 year, 3 years now. Like, you know what? You'd rather just focus on one thing. And if it works,
Yeah.
you bet on that horse. If not, at least get all that knowledge, all that power, all that
experience,
experience, and then you can apply it to the next thing.
'Cause
Right
it-
now,
yeah.
I wouldn't go 10 years in one thing if it doesn't work. Put it that way. I would
Just
like,
keep pushing.
I would be like, okay, cool, this is not working. Okay, like I can make decisions much quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So, if people want to reach out to you, how can they get hold of you?
So look, I have Instagram for business, which is mostly where I want to start sharing most like my journey as entrepreneur, and Premier Trading SA, which is my management company for import, export, and procurement, stuff like that. I have a personal Instagram, but that one is very much private. I don't really share much. So Isa Jesus Lopez, ISSA Jesus, like Jesus, LOPEZ. That is my Instagram. That is my LinkedIn, which I'm using a lot. LinkedIn, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's better than Facebook. and yeah, like that's my Instagram. In YouTube, where I share my videos when I move around, I travel or whatever. It's called at Isalio World.
Okay.
And then in TikTok as well, Isalio World. That is more like videos, like a little bit of procurement tips, and I'm still learning what direction is shaping. I share sometimes just my DJing, so like
Some
DJ,
random stuff.
some
Yeah.
random stuff, some jokes, or
Yeah.
just travel style or whatever, you know,
That's
lifestyle.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Issa, it's been absolutely great having you on this episode, and I'm looking forward to having you on many more episodes, and definitely wish you success for your businesses. And yeah, thank you for deciding to hop on the podcast.
No, I appreciate it. It's been a while since I'm in a podcast, and you know, I'm thankful for the opportunity to share my story. And it's the first time that I share the story that deep. This is part of my brand building element to it, and I realized that, you know what, I have to own my story.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna hide away too much. I'm gonna put it out there and share it with the people. And if I can motivate or inspire one person out there that sees that some of my story can make them, you know, take action into becoming a better person, becoming a better entrepreneur, I'm happy, you know. And my
100%.
DMs are always open for anybody that want to reach out with questions, with calls. If I have time, doesn't take anything from me. I will give you all the sources that I have for free, so you can learn, you can take advantage of all the mistakes that I did. So thank you very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure.
Catch you in the next one.
Next one. Yeah.